Hi guys, back with a new tips and tricks video, and will be about how I'm reinforcing my statues. I had an accident with one of my saber tooth. It was leaning a little bit too forward, and he has the huge key, but after a year I think the resin just gave in and broke. His whole leg was gone, so I couldn't really save him. I did, but you can still see the crack in his leg after I filled it up. So after that, every single statue that only has one keying into the base, I always reinforce that leg with some epoxy resin. So as you can see it over here, this is a two-part epoxy resin. 50% I mixed it up. I mixed up way more than I need. I don't need like not even a quarter of it. I don't know why I did so much. I always like to do a little bit more than what I need because again, this one you have to mix in really good. So this one has a settling time of 8 minutes. So after 8 minutes it heats up and then it gets hardened. So you have 8 minutes to work with it. I prefer this one because you don't want a half hour or an hour. You want something quick, but not too quick. Sometimes I find that the 5 minutes one settles a little bit too fast. So the 8 minutes usually works out really good for me. And this is the 50 and 50. So it's easier to mix up. Some of the resins, they will be 80-20. When you buy something like this, you just have to make sure that you do the research and you buy the one that you need. So what I'm going to do this one here, I'm going to put it inside the hole of the feet. I already put in a long piece of metal rod in on the other end, and I closed up the hole so the resin will not pour out. And then as soon as I fill up the leg, I'm gonna put this another rod inside this end of the hole and then let it settle for a while. Now sometimes this resin can be really tricky when you pour it in a small hole like this, so just make sure that the resin goes all the way down. Let it a little bit go in, like sometimes the bubbles will close the hole. Just try to push in the piece of rod that you try to put in so the hole frees up, and then make sure that the resin actually goes in. As you can see over here, I pushed in the rod and I'm gonna put some resin in. So this way the metal rod will be part of the sculpt at this point. So it's we still can have accident, for example, if the statue falls over, breaks, but it will not break just by standing on the base. And now people will say, why I just don't print the leg in one piece? Sometimes I do that, but I feel like if you put a metal rod in it, because on the other side I put a pretty long one, so it almost goes through. It actually really reinforced the sculpt, so it's more durable. And then when you print with a whole resin print without hollowing out, sometimes defects can appear on the leg because it's a long one. So, or you have to use lots of support to make sure that it doesn't get any defects in it. And most of the time you will get some anyway because it's too long. Now if anybody asks like why I did this pouring in the resin after I primed the figure, I noticed before like sometimes resin will go on it and it will be really hard to remove, or I will not even see it. So priming it up, the resin you will notice the resin if it goes on it, so you can clean it out in time. And if you have the primer, it will be easier to remove the resin even if it settles on it, because of the primer will come up earlier than just clean up the resin. And so that's why I'm doing the priming. Now because this resin has a longer curing time, you can actually feel it on the print when it starts to heat up. Now the only thing you have to watch out, make sure that the piece of metal rod that you have inside of it, the ones that gonna key into the base, it's straight so it doesn't go sideways. If it does go sideways, we'll have a hard time keying it into the base after it's everything done. So here I'm holding it with my hand, but then later on I'm gonna take a toothpick and I'm just gonna jam it inside the feed the key between the metal rod and the print, and then it's gonna settle the proper way when the resin hardens, when it cures. So it will be at the right angle, it's gonna stay straight. Now if your key goes a little bit sideways, then maybe you have to do it a little bit more crooked, but just make sure that you always follow the key direction. And now here I'm checking out the resin, and I see it started to warm up to harden. So again, I just want to make sure that the rod cures in the right position. So I'm gonna take a toothpick, jam it in between the two, and then it's gonna harden the right way for me. So happy days after this. Now guys, if you enjoy these videos and you want more, if you learned something, then I have a Patreon channel for you as well. Its name is Gambit Neo, and over there I'm doing something different, and I have really cool projects coming up. So it will be more manga and anime, and each month I do a how to paint 3D prints video, and I have some bonus videos and some insight of what I'm working and when it's coming up. So if you enjoy this, go and give it a subscribe, try it out, see how it. Now this is the end of the video. Thanks guys for watching. If you learned something or if you like it, just give it a like, give it a subscribe. If you have any questions, put it down in the comments below. I'm gonna answer as soon as possible. More videos like this will come out, and go and check out my Patreon as mentioned before, and see you on the next one.